You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon freaks and geeks, and welcome to another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon, the podcast where we give you tips and tricks on how to become your own Zen master at endurance sports. Ooh, man, we got a great episode today. We have the one, the only Chris Hague on for an interview, calling in by Skype from Los Angeles, the greater LA area, and he and I talk about a little bit about triathlon news, and then also about a review of his review. I sent him my notes on my Galveston 70.3 race, and he and I break it down, and he asks me questions about why I did this and why I did that, and we go back and forth and discuss at length about why certain choices are made and what's going on. And it's actually really cool because we're both coaches and we both raced that race. So you can see the insight of how to execute a race coming from two insightful people. It's pretty neat. And I guess after that, we'll do the training log. It's mostly after the race, what I did for recovery, a little bit of swimming and stuff like that mixed in. It's pretty cool stuff. And I guess we'll do a little bit of triathlon news right up here up front, a little bonus news. And I'll let you know that we picked up a new running dog. So Roxy, the Greyhound, passed away, let's see, maybe in January or so. And she was such a great running dog. And of course, Greyhounds should be. They don't run very far, but they can run really fast. And the black lab, Kona, you could tell he's just kind of sad and he's so social. He needs a buddy. And we've started looking around for a new puppy of sorts, and I didn't want a baby puppy, and Emily did, and Emily wanted another lab, and I didn't, because they're just too big for me to run with all the time, and I wanted something a little bit smaller, like a border collie, and we just kind of went back and forth with that. And then a coworker of Emily's had her brother-in-law, I think, raises dogs for hunting. And he had a dog he wasn't taking care of, and so this dog was tied to a tree out in a pasture, not really mistreated, but not going anywhere beneficial, and nothing good was going to come of it, and asked if we wanted to adopt it. And so we checked it out, had a visit with the dog, and it was the runt of the litter. Hold on, she's in the pantry right now. Hold on. I'm having to get used to having a puppy instead of a well-disciplined dog. We named her Zoe. Zoe, get out of there. Come on. And she was the runt of the litter, and he wasn't really going to use her for hunting, so he didn't really know what to do with her. And so she's 6 months old and about 30 pounds. The vet said she's a little bit underfed, and it's just actually really cool. She's probably going to be around 45, 50 pounds maybe, and she is either part yellow lab and other stuff, or she is mostly something called hey baby, there you are. She's all in my face now. She's mostly a Mountain View Cur, C-U-R, and you can Google it and kind of see what she looks like. She looks like those, and the labs, of course, are great family dogs, and Mountain View Curs are also really great family dogs. So it's kind of neat, but she's still very much a puppy. She's chewing on my hand right now. Ow, that hurts. You want to be on the podcast? Can you say something? You want to bite the phone? Yeah, that's her biting the phone. We took her to a soccer game last night, and that was an adventure, and just rolling around, being silly the entire time, and then starts nipping at Emily to the point where Emily got mad and needed to go walk her. And then we thought, oh man, she seems to be pretty house trained until this morning. We got her on Friday, and today is Tuesday. This morning, walked upstairs, and there was a landmine in there. Dog turds. In the training room, in the training cave, Zoe. That's sacred ground. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. Stop it. Okay, I'm going to go over here. So you quit chewing on me. And actually, just a few minutes ago, I gave her peanut butter for the first time. Being tied to a tree out in the pasture, you're not very exposed to the world. And so a lot of things that she's seeing is her first time. And obviously, I said she wasn't being horribly mistreated. Of course, being tied to a tree is not good stuff. I don't mean to just glaze over that, but that's behind us now, so I don't want to dwell on it. But she took a bite. She licked the peanut butter off the spoon, and then sat there for a second and looked at me, and then started chewing it, And then she didn't know what to do, and then she realized, this is awesome. And then she was all into it. And then, to be fair, because apparently dogs have, they can feel jealousy. They've figured that out. And, of course, everybody that's had dogs knows. It takes scientists to figure out what everybody already knows. And I gave a spoonful to Kona, and Kona was chewing away at it, and then Zoe started trying to eat it out of Kona's mouth. And he was like, no, you're not. It was pretty funny. So a lot of table manners and a whole lot of growing up to do at a puppy's pace. Yeah. But, we went running this morning, and I just kind of ran loops near my house and kind of some out and back streets to kind of see how she does. That way I didn't overdo it. And by the time I'd done 3 miles, she was still bouncing along, happy as ever. And I thought, that's enough for our first time. And dropped her off at the house. And then picked up Kona and went for more running, which was actually really cool. So that's the dog update. And then also, next podcast, I'm going to do a little bit of a breakdown of how I won the Grand Fondo here in town, the 100-mile. There was a 500-mile gravel ride, which I am not doing that. But the 100-mile version, I straight up won the whole thing. It was really cool. And I've got lots of tips and tricks of what I did to come in first place. It was really rad. Really, really rad. It's great Ironman training. And it was right here in town. And that was super cool. And even better than that, Kai and another kid, Kai's age, they rode the 40-mile loop and averaged 16 and a half miles per hour, which is nuts for an 11-year-old, 2 11-year-olds. And it just makes you realize what you can do if you kind of let go of your preconceived notions and kind of do the child's mind thing, which is big in Zen and Buddhism, is have an open mind and don't limit yourself too much. Could an 11-year-old do this? Yeah, so you could too. Quit telling yourself you can't. All right, that is the update with everything that's going on before the interview. So let's go ahead and get started with our buddy Chris Hague. Here we go.
Welcome to the next level.
Dude, how's it going?
Dude, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty well. Living the life.
Living the life?
Yeah, how about you?
I'm trying to catch my breath. I just got off the bike.
Oh, nice. Little Zwift action?
Not this time. I was watching... We're already recording, by the way. Just thought
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And I was watching the Barclays Marathons, or the Barkley Marathons documentary on Netflix. You know about that?
Is that the one in Tennessee?
Yeah, that's the one. It's 135 mile or 136 mile. I don't know. But anyway, it's 5 marathons, whatever that is. 130 mile run, and it's the elevation gain of Everest twice, and descent, and it's there's only 30% of it or something like that has trails. So the rest of it you have to bushwhack through, and it's like briars, like razor sharp stuff. So
very cool.
They have years where nobody finishes. In fact, most years nobody finishes.
Is there a prize prize to win?
No.
It's honor and glory.
It is a really good movie. It's an hour and a half long. I really recommend people check it out. And yeah, so what have you been up to?
I've been working lots, training lots, and getting ready to move to Phoenix.
Okay, so that's a done deal. You can announce that. You're moving.
Yep, moving to Phoenix in beginning June. For certain. So any listeners out there you want to hit me up for a bike ride in the heat of the summer, let me know.
You're right at Phoenix in June.
Rent's cheaper there in June. I mean, prices usually drop about $200 per month in June through September.
You're gonna be you're gonna get sand in every crack of not only yourself, but everything that you own.
Yeah. It doesn't melt beforehand.
Dude, one time we were driving through Phoenix or Arizona, and we got caught in a sandstorm, a real bona fide sandstorm, and it's like heavy fog but yellow.
Yeah.
And you can't see, what do you think, like 10 feet in front of you?
Oh, if that.
Yeah, in your car, and you're like, if this lasts much longer, it's going to start taking the paint off our car.
Yeah, it feels like hail or rain on your car.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, yep, done deal. So I'm excited.
Are you on a triathlon club there yet or anything? Or
not yet, but Scottsdale's got a good team, and there's a couple good teams. I know Tribe, there's there's Scottsdale. So there's a bunch of good teams out there.
Yeah, totally. And let's see. You're in Las Vegas right now? Not Las Vegas. You're in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Cool. All right, you got a job down in Phoenix?
Currently looking. I'm kind of in the interview process for a teaching position at a school there.
Yeah.
But hooked up with contacted a couple other schools, so substitute teaching there, and then I've got coaching on the side.
Sweet. That's always nice, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that's my favorite part of my week, and favorite part of the week and favorite part of the day is checking in on my athletes.
Yeah.
That's where I really like.
That is fun, man.
Yeah, it is. I love sitting down, and I love seeing, reading over their notes and commenting, daily, and seeing, all right, this week went well, and they're really progressing here. We need to work on this, and then giving them a whole new set of workouts for the next week, and just that's what I really like doing. That's where the fun's at. You know what?
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part too, is reading their notes, and you get I almost envisioned that I was there with them when they did it.
Yeah.
They're like, that was brutal. And then on the third interval, I about died. And then I felt great. And you're like, you get all wrapped up in it too.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Love reading the epic posts and the epic commentary. What went through their mind and when.
Yeah. And then I crashed on my bike and I got back on and finished the workout. You're like, oh my God, dude, I would have stopped. You're crazy. All right. Well, let's cover... Oh, speaking of that, somebody sent in an email when they heard that you were going to be on the show.
Oh, sweet.
And was just bragging on what an awesome coach you were. I thought I'd tell you.
Awesome.
Thanks. I forgot where that email went, but it said that you coached him before?
Yeah. Was it Dwayne or was it Billy?
I'd have to figure out my emails. Hold on, let me see. And it's Chris Hague Coaching, right?
Yep, ChrisHagueCoaching.com.
And let's see if I can search my email, see if I can find this email from somebody. No, I don't know who it was. Maybe it came through Twitter or maybe it was a Twitter direct message. But dude, just raving about how easy you are to work with and inspiring and good attitude. So
high praise.
I know, right? That's cool. And let's see, you want to talk about a little bit of triathlon news?
Yeah, let's do a little triathlon news, and then I've got some questions for you about Galveston, and then I kind of want to segue into that about your plans for Iron Canada and using kind of Zwift for that.
Oh, crap.
I'm very organized.
You're going to hold me accountable.
Ready to go.
Okay, coach, dude. Hold on, let me see if I can... I'm on Twitter all day long. It's amazing that I can't find it. Hold on. Let's see. Pull it up right here. Terrible podcasting. Come on, Twitter. Let's go. Yeah. Man, my legs are shot. I really shouldn't have biked tonight.
Still recovering from Galveston, or?
No, just kept on training. Well, I took off. I took off 4 or 5 days or something, which is a lot for me. So I was like...
Yeah, it was an interesting, speaking of Twitter, interesting tweet you posted about how much days of recovery you need versus how many days of recovery you want.
Yeah.
Most of it got some pretty interesting answers, too.
Yeah. Um,
I think a lot of people underestimate how much recovery they actually need and kind of push through to get to the next race. So it's, you really have to tone back and kind of objectively look at your stress and your recovery and how your body's feeling after a race. Because for the most part, I mean, you're living off adrenaline for like 2 days afterwards.
and caffeine. That was the one I've noticed. If you take a lot of caffeine during a race, then you'll have a buzz on top of the adrenaline, and you'll start back too soon, and then you'll start training again, and after about 2 days of training,
2 to 3 days,
you'll completely implode and realize that you were in way over your head and that you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I can't find the email, but anyway, it was an awesome email. Okay, let's talk about.
Let's talk triathlon news.
How about Challenge has announced a world championship, which people have been bugging them about for years.
Yeah, I found this really interesting. Not only because it's in Eastern Europe. It's in Slovakia, and a huge purse prize. And also, they're not trying to compete with Kona and putting it in October. They're putting it in June, which makes me think they're trying to get people who want to prep for Kona at that race.
And on top of that, you can qualify if you're a pro. You can qualify for this race by being one of the top racers at Kona.
Yeah,
they're totally picking the pockets of WTC for the best, and I think it's great. I think it's like, hey, if you do great at Kona or WTC Ironman Half Championships, World Championships, and ITU Long Course Worlds, then you've qualified for our race. I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I want to check out that course and see what the course profile is like. Especially in June. I wonder, is that going to be as hot as Kona, or how the courses compare,
right?
Profile wise.
And yeah, profile wise, they say as far as driving to get there, it's actually for Europe, it's like centralized. Like every part of Europe is like within 3 hours drive or something.
Versus $1,200 plane ticket to get to Kona.
Yeah.
And talk about Slovakia most likely can't be that expensive as far as cost of living, versus Hawaii, which is like double the cost of living.
Yeah.
So most likely a little bit more appealing to pros than flying to Hawaii, training there for a month in preparation, and then flying out. So we'll see if this takes traction.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to do that when they took over the Rev 3 series. They tried to put a championship series together, and it didn't really work out too well.
Right. Yeah.
There we are. Yeah.
And also, there's 300 loyalty slots for age group triathletes who participate in at least 4 challenge events within the qualification period. Which I'm trying to see what the qualification.
Those Rev 3 doesn't count anymore.
Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty neat. So
yeah.
I think it'll be up to the athletes to make it into something big. If they believe in it and they make it big, and as big as they've made Roth, and really get into it, then that itself will make it big.
I agree. Because honestly, Kona is just another race. It's the athletes who have made it. When I take a very zen approach to it, it's Kona. The prestige of Kona is what we make it.
Oh, the last thing is that it's going to move around every year.
Oh, that is. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
is it
could be a different location.
Focusing around Europe?
I don't know. I don't think this where it says. Anyway, there's a press announcement on Challenge's website, and it's made the rounds. So I think that's about it.
And then also, let's talk about Starkowitz's blazing, averaging of 31.5 miles per hour in New Orleans.
I thought it was 28. It was 31?
His bike split was insane. I think Nola's out and back. The New Orleans course is out and back. So when he hit the turnaround and came back, he averaged 31.6 miles per hour on the bike, which just that's blistering fast.
I know.
And then overall, he went 340 and change.
So I talked to him on Twitter privately, just a quick back and forth, trying to schedule him to be on the next show.
It would be awesome to see like what his bike training still consists of.
Well, basically, he trains in the most horrible place you can train, which would be outside of Chicago year round.
Yeah. That makes you stronger.
Yeah, and like he says, he does that on purpose to make him that the conditions at New Orleans was terrible. Well, really windy,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that's nothing compared to Chicago winter and spring and well, just everything except for Chicago summer. And yeah, that's really amazing. So we'll see if it works out. He's somebody sent me a private message and said, "Hey, if you get Starkey on, ask him about this." And then they sent me a link. And like 2 days after the race, he went and rode 100 miles, like at some crazy speed, just as a training ride. It's on Strava.
That is insane.
He's a bit of a beast.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break from the interview and talk a moment about our big new sponsor, Salt Stick. All right, I love this stuff because I have been doing Salt Stick and a cousin of Salt Stick, just taking salt pills, which are hard to find, actually. You have to order them from the pharmacy, and then they show up, and then they don't come in any kind of dispenser or anything like that. You have to put them in a Ziploc and then carry that around. It turns into a real mess, man. But Salt Stick has it covered because they are electrolyte capsules that you can break them open if you want and then shake them into a bottle because they're just capsules. I've done that. And you can take them as needed. It's really, really cool because sometimes you don't want salt. Sometimes you do need salt. But I can tell you one thing for sure. Water doesn't work without enough salt. It just doesn't. It's not sticky. So let me tell you about a cool study that scientists did on triathletes. They gave half of them salt stick caps and the other half sports drink, like Gatorade. The athletes that took salt sticks finished a 70.3 race in an average of 26 minutes faster than the control group. 26 minutes. That's absolutely crazy. So you got to make your water stick with Salt Stick or else it doesn't work. That's my own tagline. I came up with it. They're going to have to run with that. All right, you can get 25% off your order of Salt Stick with discount code ZenTri25, all caps. ZenTri25. Say it. ZenTri25. All right, and it can be used through the website shopsaltstick.com. Go check it out. 25% off. That is good. Hashtag good. Believe it. All right, let's get back to our interview. Well, cool. You have any other news?
Well, those are the two things that came across my feeds in the past couple days.
Only other small thing, like technologically, I tried to get SRAM wireless shifting for my new bike, and the word on the street is you can't get it unless you buy a whole group set, which like is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's about. I think it's a pretty high price.
Yeah, and you don't need it. Like a lot of people don't need it. They just want the shifting, and they're talking about July or August when they're going to start selling the pieces that just the shifters and the derailleurs.
Yeah, and they're just going to fly off the shelf. They're the next hot item because I was at a Slow Twitch Roadshow Expo.
Oh yeah, you were on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to. There was one at my old bike shop back in DC. So when I was visiting, it worked over that I was traveling there, and I went to the road show and worked the road show. So Dan Enfield does exist. He is a real person.
He's real. What does he look like? Is he tall?
Yeah, he's fairly tall. He's about your height, actually.
Oh, that's terrible.
And just kind of
no wonder he's so grumpy all the time.
He's the type of person who kind of gives off a grumpy air.
Yeah.
But he's he reminds me of a retired hippie that's kind of gone to sea. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of got that gruff.
Like maybe he lives on a houseboat.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the backwaters of a lake.
Yeah. And he was wearing like a denim jacket too, which kind of just set off his whole entire persona.
Have you ever spent a lot of time at a marina? Does he look like he lives in a marina, like on a boat?
Yep, and bandana. So yeah, but nice guy though. Incredibly knowledgeable. I saw him, fit a couple bikes and like design a couple bikes. So, but there was a demo by the SRAM ETAP person, and that is some smooth shifting.
Yeah.
I'm saving up right now to get to get for my next, dream bike to get that on that.
Yeah.
Because like think about like not only like the shifting, but also like when you're traveling to a race and you have to break down your bike, you don't have to worry about the cables and bending the cables and stretching the cables.
Right.
And even with like Di2, you still have cables involved, and you worry about stretching the cables there, or breaking the cables or snapping the cables when your bike is in transport. With wireless, you don't have to worry about that.
That's true. But I just caved and I ordered the Shimano ones. I was like, I got a new bike coming that I can't. I promised myself electronic shifting at this point by now, so
it is well worth it.
Yeah, because you get shifting out on the bullhorns, and you really that is a true upgrade. That's like a game changer a little bit.
I found that when I put Di2 on my bike, that I'm shifting, twice to 3 times as much, which has just improved my bike performance. Because on when I just had shifting like on the TT bars, and I was climbing a hill, I'm like, I don't think I'll really shift. I'll just mash it out. It's only a little bit longer. Yeah. But now, once I hit, I can change gears. I change gears much more quickly, and I'm more aware of my cadence, and I'm not afraid to shift.
Correct. Absolutely. All right, let's move on. What do you got next?
So, all right. So let's talk about Galveston.
Okay.
Kind of a nice interlude into Galveston. So, my first question for you, and I listened to your old podcast, so you kind of, if you're just listening to this one, I would go back and listen to. I think it's like around 1 hour 10 that you start to get into the Galveston show notes. But you've raced Galveston for several years now, and you take meticulous notes before and after your race.
Right.
So going into this race, did you look back on your old notes and figure out, all right, this is what I did poorly last year, and this is what I need to do this year? And if so, what did you change this year compared to years past?
Let's see. Last year was the year that my power meter didn't work, and Lionel Sanders didn't either, and a whole bunch of people's didn't. So I took extra care that I had spare batteries and that I checked the power the day before the race and made sure that it was on and running. I think there's something when you transport your bike, if you're for power taps, if they're angled a certain, I could never figure out what it is, but it's happened to me several times with transporting a bike where the power meter drains. It's got relatively new batteries in it, and then it drains. So there was that, and I've taken extra care. Last year was the year I wrecked on my bike, and my hands slipped off the handlebars. So I put fresh bar tape on them. And luckily also they changed the course just a tad and got it off that old airport runway that had the big slabs of concrete that were off camber and giant gashes and all that stuff. 'Cause I remember when I wrecked, like another guy wrecked a little while after me, and anyway. So I made sure I was safer this year because that wreck really hurt. And let's see. Other things, I had a different strategy where I was going to try to do like slower fuel, kind of change up my nutrition a little bit. Yeah. And as far as looking over last year's notes, I really didn't because it was still really familiar in my mind. And I wasn't too particular. I was more just kind of playing around with stuff. It's not an A race. It was like a B race. So I was just kind of not trying to improve too much over last year, just kind of trying to see what happened.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit more about B races versus A races. How do you differ between a B race and an A race as far as mental approach, training approach, tapering approach? How do you distinguish between the two, and what makes a B race different from A race as far as your attitude going into it race morning?
So the definitely I would have, if it was an A race, I tapered for about 4 days maybe. And people need to understand that like tapering is relative to the experience of the athlete, right?
Right.
So if you're used to doing Ironmans, then a half Ironman, you really only need to taper, not as long, anywhere near as long as somebody that's like going into their very first half Ironman. You would want to taper a lot more and be really fresh. And then, so anyway, so I would have tapered. If it was an A race, I would have tapered a couple more days. And I would have been a little bit more particular about my food the day before and been more picky about what I ate. And then also an A race, I think, has what I do is I take a lot more risks. So this, like I said, this race I was playing it safe with trying not to wreck because my real A race is Canada this summer. And my recent experience is if you get injured, my last injury in December that sidelined me big time. And I don't want another one of those. And so when it was like into taking corners and...
Also, so kind of as far as nutrition goes for a B race, if Galveston had been an A race for you, what would you have done nutritionally different versus this one? So were you experimenting with stuff in this one to figure out what would work because it's a B race, or kind of did you figure out a nutrition side of it? This is what I might do for Ironman Canada. Let's see if it works here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was trying more of like an Ironman fueling program. So more fat the day before and the day of and the morning of. And then more, I did UCAN and about half as much fast burning fuel like Gatorade and maltodextrin mix, like gels kind of stuff that I make myself. And so I was doing like 100 calories or so per hour of UCAN, which is a really slow burning carb. It's still a carb, but it's like crazy slow. And that was kind of filling me up. And I was also and about 100, 150 maybe calories per hour of my homemade gel stuff.
Okay, so it's about, 250 an hour total?
Yeah, and that's what I found was that slow burning stuff, it filled me up so much that I didn't really want to eat more. And then my heart rate was probably 10, 15, 20 beats lower than what it usually would be if I was racing a half hour. I was not interested in pegging it out in the, zone 3, mid zone 3.
Right.
And so I was easily in zone 2, but I was really, really happy in zone 2 and feeling really good. And I wanted to see, if I did zone 2 like this for a while, what is that? What kind of watts is that? Heart rate wise. And it was really good. And and then I was also holding back on the bike and on the fueling because I wanted, every time I do Galveston, I get kind of sick to my stomach about halfway through the either by the start of the run or halfway through the run.
The heat, yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to see, what would it take for me not to get sick on the run? So I was kind of holding back on the simple sugars to see if it would work, and it did. I felt my stomach felt great on the run. On the run, I was doing kind of like a mix of 50-50 Gatorade and water. At the aid stations, I'd take like a sip of Gatorade and a sip of water, and then and the other thing is I've got an injured foot. My left foot has plantar fasciitis and a heel spur in it really bad. So I didn't want to push it on the run, and I didn't want to feel sick on the run. I've done so many races, I'm tired of feeling sick on races. So I kind of held back and just kind of got in the zone and just enjoyed being kind of in an Ironman zone, and then sprinted the last mile, on the run, maybe half mile, maybe mile, something like that.
With regards to your with the UCAN, I noticed in your race notes that you felt a little flat. Do you think that was because of the UCAN?
Yeah, I don't think I've really figured out how to fuel with it exactly. It does something where I wouldn't call it irritates my stomach, but I notice it in my stomach.
Gotcha.
And so what I've tried now is instead of a serving every hour is what I'm messing with now is a serving every hour and a half maybe. And kind of not do as much of it because that stuff works.
Yeah,
it's amazing. But how much you need and is not something that I've really kind of figured out yet.
Yeah, it's good for Ironman and kind of that zone 2 and maybe like low zone 3 efforts.
Yeah,
it's definitely suited for that.
Yeah.
But as you said in your notes, like if you want rocket fuel.
then it's not gonna. If you're going high, zone 4, low zone 4, then definitely just go with the simple triggers.
Yeah, it's more like diesel,
Mm-hmm.
and there's definitely a place for that. I felt great, but I did not have the energy to really, peg out my heart rate and go really, really, really fast. But I was also happy at the same time, like just cruising along with it. So, yeah.
So were you able to figure out your Ironman zones and for the heart rate and for the wattage?
Oh yeah, man. Like I can do, well, I did a 5:02 and that was kind of an Ironman pace. It felt like, so, I think I averaged a heart rate of 130 or something. I forgot what I wrote down, but, what's so cool now is you can go back and look at that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was doing well above what, I was doing right at a good heart rate or a good watts for Ironman, like 220, 225.
Okay, so what is that, like 60% of max?
Oh yeah, dude. Like my FTP is just over 300, and I'm sitting there doing 225. And in Galveston years before, I've done 250 watts.
Nice.
I can easily there was something wrong during the race, but it didn't bother me. I was like, this is weird. I'm not in training with no taper. I go out for 2-hour rides and I can do 240, 250 watts. And now during this race with taper, I'm doing 225, 230. And I feel like that's all I really got, if that, and keeping it safe. And I was like, that's really odd. And I felt like it was the fueling. Like, I guess it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, because around that's about, yes, I just did some quick calculations. That 220 is about 73% of your FTP, which is kind of like what you want to go for in an Ironman.
Exactly.
Versus like 80%, which would be about 240, 250, which is like what you were doing in practice.
Yeah.
Which would be like a good half Ironman, goals, those high 70s, low 80s percentages. So that's kind of, that seems like everything's lining up. But since you were going for that Ironman kind of zone mindset, 220 seemed to suit you well.
Yeah, and I'm looking right here in my notes that I sent you. No stomach pain, none.
And that's critical for the run. I mean, you can blow yourself out on the bike, and then once you get to the run, you get stomach pains and you get dizziness and you're dehydrated and you're not able to even complete the half marathon. So
yeah, and my longest run leading up to that race, I was always doing 6-mile runs, and then one time I did a 12-mile run, and that was it. That's my longest run since Ultra Baby in October. It was always like a 6-mile run, maybe a 6.5, and then I did one 12-mile run. And I was sitting there on the run just going, could I keep doing this for a marathon? In spite that I haven't really been running all that much. And I thought, yeah, I really could.
That's the answer, dude.
I feel great. Like I was just jogging along going, wow, this is really... And Emily, that's another thing, is to ask somebody else how you looked. Emily said, yeah, you looked fantastic. Like you were just jogging along, smiling and waving and having a good time. So that says a lot. So I'm really excited about it. I need to... I'm doing a 100-mile bike ride on Sunday. It's like a charity ride. And I'm going to test out the fueling on that too. I'm going to spread out the UCAN to an hour and a half instead of an hour and see if I'm able to get higher watts and feel better.
I forget, when UCAN first came out, I remember reading that if you mixed it with like MCT oil, that it went down more smoothly and kind of mitigated that stomach effect. So try that.
Oh, I got some of that, yeah. I use it to lube my bike chain.
I'll see if I can... dig that up, but I'm pretty sure, mixing it with MCT oil would help with the stomach pain. So that might be something to experiment with.
Yeah, totally true. Yeah, it mixes well with MCT oil. It kind of just lubes it, so it's not it just felt, I wouldn't even call it. It's almost like it felt itchy in your stomach, like
interesting way to describe it,
like gritty or abrasive, kind of. It's just odd, but not enough to be a problem. But it's just interesting. So, all right, let's take a break. I want to jump in here and talk about another sponsor of ZenTri, Living Fuel. Living Fuel is awesome. Let me tell you about one of their products. Living Protein is thebomb.com. It's a non-soy vegetarian yellow pea brown rice protein with added fiber, prebiotics, probiotics, perfect for your green smoothies that are likely missing a key macronutrient. Protein! Exclamation point. They put that in there because they knew I would say it. They have it in, they call it tubs, but it's these canisters with a big screw top lid. I add it to my workout fuel, my recovery fuel. It is so good. I had the green, what do they call that green drink? I don't know. I just use it so much. I don't even look at the label anymore. The stuff is so good. I keep it at work. I have a healthy fridge at work, a little micro fridge, a mini fridge, a dorm fridge, and I keep carrots and apples and stuff like that around there, and healthy sprouted wheat bread, sprouted grains bread, and then also living fuel stuff. I love it, man. I also did a long workout last weekend where I put living fuel amino acid mix in with my carbs to give a little bit of protein mix to it. And man, it was really, really good. It worked out great. I had a great workout. So go check out livingfuel.com. They have a huge variety of different stuff. Almost all of it has some kind of fiber or healthy something as the major ingredient, if not the entire ingredient. So you will definitely have a lot of choice in there going and checking them out. And they are a big supporter of ZenTri. They approached us on the show, which I'm a big fan of. They listen. They support us. Help them out. All right, go check out livingfuel.com.
So you mentioned your training with in the lead up to Galveston. What was your training like? It is a B race, so obviously you're focusing on Ironman Canada. So maybe you swapped out some of the more intense for the Zone 2 because you had that Ironman Canada in mind. Kind of take us through a little bit with just a general overview of what your goals were training for, what your goals in training were leading up to this race, and as well as what's going to change after this race leading up to Ironman Canada.
Well, I kind of held back on the training, the crazy training hours, because I know that that's going to come before Canada. And so I didn't want to burn myself out with mega hours, So I actually did somewhat shorter hours than what I typically would do, and just a little bit harder intervals instead. And on purpose did more family stuff, and
family does come first.
Yeah, and and with I know we're going to talk about Zwift, that new mountain in Zwift. I mean, that thing. I just did so much training up that thing, and I found that just to be so incredible. And the thing is, Galveston's like a flat race, so there's no real hill climbing, but there's just something about that Zwift, man.
Well,
it's so convenient.
With the mountain, I've done a double pass. Mm-hmm. So you go up it from one direction, you get to the top, you turn around, you go down the other side, then you turn around and do it again from the other side.
Oh, yeah.
That's a killer workout.
I've done that.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's do you do all the way up to the radio tower when you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's such an amazing ride. So amazing. Yeah.
Couple more questions on Galveston, and then we'll get to Iron Canada and on Zwift. Set up for your bike, disc wheel, and then a shallower wheel up front. Obviously, that helped you with the aerodynamics, but it was a windy course, so that not having the 808 up front was a good call. Hydration-wise, it's a hot race. What did you do for hydration? How much did you have it on the bike, and will that change for Ironman Canada?
Yeah, so on the wind thing, I was out on training rides with the 808, and I found it difficult, just a tad bit difficult to drink and eat. And I thought on race day, that's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. If you have any trouble drinking or eating on your bike, what's difficult during training, you're totally not going to be able to do during a race. So I switched to the shallow wheel. I started a thread on Slow Twitch and asked, how did people feel it was? One way or the other. I didn't give my opinion one way or the other. And a lot of people said they were fine with 808s in deep dishes, and I was like, well, good for you. But I was glad that I didn't have that I went to a shallower wheel. And then let's see, hydration. I was picking up water. I looked at the race course ahead of time. There's an aid station about every 10 miles, and I figured that was enough water, and it was. So I'd pick up water at the aid stations. I have an Aero bottle on the front, one of those torpedoes.
Yep.
So I had water in that at the start, and I had I have an Aero bottle, on the frame, down by the crank, and in that I had my Gatorade maltodextrin mix with some salts in it, and so that was my fast fuel, right? And then behind the seat, I had my slow fuel. So what I was doing, I had UCAN and some amino acid powder, right? And so what I was doing was I was going to drink that slow fuel no matter what. And then when for more energy on top of that, I was going to drink the fast fuel to supplement, because this was my Ironman test.
Yeah.
And so that I kept them separate. So I would get the slow no matter what. And I found by the end, I'd eaten all the slow fuel, my 100 calories of UCAN per hour, and only about maybe 2/3 of the fast fuel that I normally would have had.
So it really would have been definitely more of a supplement than your main fuel.
Yeah, and like you were asking earlier, and the usual way I would race, and looking back now, for a half Ironman and faster, it's smarter just to do fast fuel.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that allows you to ramp up your heart rate and go zone 3. But that's depending on people's fitness. Some people, a half Ironman, that's a long haul. If it's your first or second one, you're going to be out there a long time. Then slow fuel is probably pretty good. You don't want the fast stuff. But when we're trying to race it as fast as we can, then the fast fuel is definitely out there. I learned a lesson with that.
As far as what fuel did you get on the run?
What fuel?
Yeah, did you take any fuel on the run? As I know you said you were mixing in water and Gatorade. Yeah. Was Gatorade your only fuel, or did you have any solids on the run?
No, what I did was my fuel bottle I had behind me, the slow fuel, I had enough. I had it portioned out correctly so that as I began the run, my last swig of that was to give me an hour's worth of UCAN out on the run, another serving of UCAN for the run. And so I start in the transition area in T2. I took a big swig, and that was the UCAN, and then started jogging. And so that lasted me for half the run, a little bit over half the run. But on top of that, I was sipping a little through the aid station, sipping a little bit of Gatorade and water.
And as far as next year goes,
mm-hmm.
What notes are you writing down now to say next year do this, this, and this?
Next year in my notes, I've got to remember to shave my legs the day before the race, so I don't remember at 3 a.m. to do it with Emily's razor that I found in the shower, because that's not good.
Happy with that one.
Yeah, and then fast fuel next year for that race. No slow fuel. It's really critical to find somebody to race with that you try to actually have some competition with.
Mm-hmm.
My PR was you and I did it one year.
Yeah,
and that was a really good race for me. And then the next year or the year after that, I went even faster because I got a friend that he and I were really close in times, and I used to coach him, so I wanted to beat him. I wanted to make sure he didn't beat me, And then so that was my fastest ever split. And then when you're out there without any competition, you're just kind of like, it just turns into a fun run,
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you're not going to get your best time out of it. But
yeah, I think going into the race, you got to be aware of that, set your priorities. As you said, A races are different from B races, and you just got to approach it with, a specific checklist of goals that you want to check off, with, getting a PR not being one of them.
Yeah. And gosh, just thinking about it, man, like I was a litter box of injuries. So my left arm, just recovering from being broken. I don't want to bang up. I don't want to strain my arm and re-break it in some crazy way. I didn't want to crash on my bike and re-break my arm. I didn't want to pedal too hard and strain my foot, because I don't know if my foot injury comes from cycling or from running. The plantar fasciitis.
Mm-hmm. Your plantar fasciitis.
Yeah, it could come from either. It could be from cycling too hard. And And then I also wanted to not get sick I wanted to try something and finally not get sick on the run from too much sugar and get lightheaded. You know, my problem is I overfuel, and then I get lightheaded and start getting sick. And I wanted to almost underfuel to see what that felt like. So,
well, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. I had a good race, finished super happy, and didn't wreck, and
now, more importantly, you are primed to start training for Ironman Canada.
Yeah, I'm in one piece, and learned a little bit about that UCAN fueling. Like, I used UCAN this morning I was doing an hour and a half run, and that stuff's great. I still take a little bit of maple syrup on top of it while I'm running, but not much. And my energy level is just solid. You know, it just does not allow you to bonk. It's great. So for training, the longer stuff, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely for the longer stuff.
Yeah.
Short sprints, maybe not so much, but for the longer stuff, for that steady pacing, definitely, as you said, it doesn't allow you to bonk.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your record to Ironman Canada. And specifically Zwift training, because, you're in Texas, you're going to a very hilly course up in Canada. How are you utilizing Zwift, and what does your typical workout look like?
Well, I alternate between long intervals some days and short intervals other days, because I'm a big believer in both, like the 20-minute long intervals, or more at below threshold. Just teach you stamina, because there's two hills on this thing that are like 30 minutes long. And
the mountain passes.
Yeah. And then there's, a bunch of, short little things, stuff like that. So when you get bored or you feel like the long intervals aren't really improving you anymore, it's nice to switch over to doing short intervals, like just a few minutes and over threshold. So like if my FTP is 300, 310, something like that, then doing them at like 350, and really making the legs burn, but for shorter periods of time. And I find that really mixes things up. And then like tonight, and mixing in intervals, mixing in bike rides where I'm just watching TV.
Yeah.
I find if I do Zwift, I get caught up in the game. And then
that's the trap. It's the Zwift trap. Is when you see someone passing you, and you're supposed to be only 240 to 250 watts, but someone passes you, like if what gets me is, it's one lap, or I'll take it really, really easy, and then I see, I was only 20 seconds off the jersey for that hill or for that segment. Yeah, I think I'll go for a little bit harder next time. And you undermine your workout if you get buy into that trap.
Yeah.
It can get really tempting. So Zwift's good for specific workouts, but if you're just chilling, it's so easy in a rat race.
What I like, but also it works against me, is the workout metrics and big fat numbers. And so it's telling you your watts and your cadence. And then I'll find that's both wonderful, but then it ends up doing me in. Something that triggers me is if my watts start dropping, I try too hard to keep them up or to get them to like a number that for whatever reason that day I think significant. I'm like, oh man, I could almost finish this ride like averaging 250 watts. When that number doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. It only means the value that you assign it.
Yeah. So I'm like, why? It does me in, and so that's why I'm saying sometimes I'll do rides where I've done rides where I'll have Zwift running, but it's where I can't see it.
Yeah. Because
I love the metrics that it has, that when you do want to see them, they're so good. And I think instead, my trainer, if I ride on the trainer, and I just record that to my Garmin, for an hour, it'll say I did 18 miles, right? The way the resistance is on the trainer. But on Zwift, it'll say that I did 21 miles, which is a whole lot more realistic.
Yeah, because you get the elevation and you also get the you also get elevation changes with the Zwift profile.
Yeah, and it'll say you did 2,000, 1,500, 3,000, whatever feet of elevation gain, and I'm like, that's capturing real numbers of what you would have done in the real world, right? So then when you look at your Training Peaks results, and you look at your miles for the week or your elevation gain, those numbers are way more realistic than if you just rode the trainer by itself. So.
And as far as you mentioned long intervals versus short intervals, especially for the hills.
Mm-hmm.
As far as weekly mileages go, do you have a weekly goal set for kind of getting up into that Ironman range?
I did earlier this year. I'd have to go look at it now to see what it is because I got off track a little bit with getting into the whole Galveston training, specifically for that. I had a plan earlier this year where every weekend I was going to keep making a longer bike ride and a longer run up until a point. That way to really practice full Ironman distance as much as I could. So to do a 3-hour ride and a 2-hour run, and then the next week to do 3 hours and 15-minute ride and a 2-hour run, and keep growing it and keep learning each time, what works. Because my big limiter is fueling. Yeah. On paper,
I can see that.
I should be around a 10-hour Ironman, on the button. On paper. Yeah. But every single time on the run, I get sick to my stomach. And,
so, as far as your lead up to Ironman Canada, what are you going to be doing to specifically target that? Obviously, Galveston was a great step forward in that the fact that you were able to run off the bike without a stomach ache.
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing in practice now to kind of keep that momentum going and kind of even tweak it even further so that you're able to, be even better off the bike?
Yeah, so what I started doing was leading up to Galveston, I started doing 2-hour rides with a 1-hour run. And John Hirsch taught me that. He said, the best way to practice for Ironmans is to do long bricks and practice your fueling so that because you can do all the training in the world, but if you don't have your fueling right, it comes undone.
Yeah.
So, that's basically what I have to do. I have to do I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I have to do long days and learn the fueling mistakes from each one and try different stuff until I nail it. Because my easy pace is it's decent enough. So I just got to not get sick.
Yeah. Not get sick and not get injured.
And then all my Ironmans have been hot. And this one probably won't be anywhere near as hot. It could be hot, but there's nothing hot like Texas. It's insane. So
it's a seat.
Yeah.
Hotter than 4th of July.
Hotter than 4th of July on a tick's belly. I just made that up. But the pressure from the heat, cooking you from the outside in, really just makes people sick to their stomach.
Yeah.
And at 180 pounds, oh man, dude, you cook fast. And so I'm looking forward to Canada being a cooler race than Texas. So
now, will you have to deal with elevation there?
There's elevation gain on the bike and stuff like that. It's hilly. It's one of the hillier races. But it's actually not high elevation as far as altitude goes. Even though that it's near Whistler, or it's the ski resort town and stuff, it's so much cooler up in Canada that they can have ski resorts at a much lower elevation. So I think it's maybe 2,000 feet elevation or something like that.
So that's nothing that's going to affect you.
No, it shouldn't. Much. Shouldn't.
On paper.
On paper. Yeah. Shouldn't on paper. All right, I want to jump in one last time and give a shout out to Amrita Bars, longtime sponsor of ZenTri. Great stuff. I wonder how many I've had today. At least one. I think I had one today after my swim. Oh man, apple cinnamon. It's so good. They have so many different flavors. They have a recovery bar, a maca chocolate. Oh my God, it's the best. You know what? One thing I really love about Amrita Bars is the wrapper is like it's kind of like a Cliff Bar or a Lara Bar, where you can kind of easily open one end of it, and then you can take a bite. You can eat like a third of it, just a bite, and then fold the wrapper back over the bar, and then put it back in the leg of your cycling shorts, and then keep on pedaling. It really works. And then you chew that bite, and that'll last you, for a while, for like 20, 30, 40 minutes. And then you pull the wrapper out of the top of your cycling shorts again, down by your knee. You pull it out, work the bar. I'm doing this with my hand. Can you hear that? Work the bar forward a little bit, take another bite, wrap it back up, put it all into your leg again. And then you have whole bars still in the wrapper behind your back. And you just pull them out of your cycling jersey, and they're easy to chew. They're not like this dry, powdery stuff where you take a bite, and then when you breathe in the dust from dry, powdery stuff plus the wind coming in your face while you're running or biking, all of a sudden you start choking on it. You go, ah, my God, I think I'm dying. What happened? Oh, I wish I had an Amrita bar instead of this. Oh, my God. See? Don't do that. Don't choke on stuff while exercising. Chew on Amrita bars. Don't choke, chew. Amrita bars. That's my new tagline. They're going to have to run with that. Okay. They also have a club. It is called the Amrita Club, of course. AmritaHealthFoods.com/product/Amrita Club. Go check them out. They have all kinds of cool stuff. And also, the discount code for ZenTri is, I don't know, is it 20% off? Is it 10% off? You're going to have to go and find out. It could be 100% off. You don't know, but it's not. But anyway, the discount code is ZEN2016. Go to AmritaBars.com, AmritaHealthFoods.com actually, and go check them out and check out all the pictures and all the cool kit and all the great socks and jerseys and neat stuff they have. I love it. You should love it too. All right, let's get back to the interview.
Sweet. Well, those are the only questions I have. It sounds like you got a vision going forward for Ironman Canada, and it sounds like you're gonna nail it.
Yeah, one thing I've learned is that I'm doing. I read that book by Scott Adams, the Dilbert book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not. It's by the guy that does Dilbert.
Yeah.
But he wrote a book on how he achieved a lot of his goals. And every day I write out. This is something he said to do. I write out I'm going to qualify for Kona at Ironman Canada, and I write it out 10 times. And I write out how, by fueling correctly, by training correctly, so that I know how to fuel. And whether it works or not, just by going through the process and telling yourself, making you think about it every day, just makes you think about how to do it right.
Yeah.
So you
set in those intentions.
Yeah, you significantly up your chances of doing it right, at least, by thinking about it every day. And I use a Todoist as a task manager, and it's just a repeating task every day to write that out 10 times. And it's really interesting how it makes you pay way more attention to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a great tactic. I recommend people write out their intentions in the morning, kind of like beginning of a yoga practice. They write out, you find your intention. So if you write 3 intentions for the day, and they don't even have to be like training related. It could be something like I'm going to eat 5 vegetables, or I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water, or something is I'm going to have take a deep breath before I respond to an email. Those small intentions, sets the mindset for the day, so that you do get into that winner's mindset. You're focused on it, and you don't let it slip. And when you're focused on it, and it's at the forefront of your mind, that's when things start to come together.
Yeah, if you do it first thing early in the day, like say if you don't do it first thing in the day, well then most of the day's gone before if you remember it all. Mm-hmm. But if you do it first thing, what I have a set of repeating tasks. It's like 5 tasks when I get to work, and that's on my every day, and it's on my list of things to do. I've learned over time that have made my life so much better and so much simpler if I do these things right when I get to work every day. So one of them is check my calendar at work to double check as soon as I walk in to make sure what time all my appointments are for the day, like any meetings or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And because you'd be surprised, like you forget. You get in and you get distracted and you talk to other people, and the next thing you know, you're late for a meeting.
Yeah, I'm the same way with class schedules. I always have to make sure, when my classes is, so I don't have that oh shit moment of, oh, am I supposed to be teaching a class right now?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, the worst, feeling in your stomach.
Oh, man. Imagine like a system where you have no oh shit moments for the rest of your life. Yeah. And then so right in the middle of that system, I've got write down 10 times you're going to qualify for Kona. And who knows, if that's ever going to happen. But it's always fun to see how close it works. And it really makes you think. Because then you're like, am I really going to, what would I have to do to do that? What do I have to do today, to qualify for Kona? And that's even a good thing to say. What do I have to do today to train right for my next Ironman? There's another one. So we'll see. How's your training going, and what do you got next?
It's going really well. I've got Tempe 70.3 coming up in October 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm training there. So it's a little hectic right now with work. Just kind of fitting everything in. So it's more of a strength and development phase, so that once summer hits and school's out for the summer, I can ramp up the volume and I won't get injured. So I'm really focusing on getting the power numbers up, getting stronger, working on the runs, controlling the controllables, so that once things lighten up a little bit, I can get back to the normal routine and start ramping it up when I have 15 to 16 weeks to go.
Yeah. So that's your first big race, is all the way off into October, huh?
Yeah. So I did the Pasadena. My first big race was the Pasadena, and I use big with quotation marks. So it was the Pasadena Duathlon, which was just right around the Rose Bowl up in Pasadena. And it's a 5K run, 15K bike, and then a 5K run. So that was my first big race, the one that I was focusing on all winter for. And that just, it worked with my schedule because I didn't really have to focus too much on the swim. I could just focus on the bike and the run, and I could go there, some weekends and train. So that was last month, and did really well. Won overall and missed the course record by, I think it was 5 seconds, which was, so close. And I kind of,
that sucks, dude. That's so close.
I kicked myself at the end. I would have gotten it, but but yeah, that was my first big race, and now just focusing on October.
Oh wow! Oh, you won overall. How many people were in it?
I think there was 300, 350 in the duathlon.
Oh wow, dude, that's awesome.
So I was pleased. I was psyched with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask you. You went to Sewanee.
Yep.
University of the South at Sewanee. When I spent the night there as a high school senior, I did spend the night and hung out with some I don't know, whatever year they were. There was dorms that were like castles.
Yeah, they still have them.
Yeah. Did you live in one of those ever?
Castles. I lived in, let's see here. No, I didn't get into the castle one, but obviously the fraternity parties were open.
Uh-huh.
And there was a couple fraternity houses that were just really.
Oh, I lost you. Come back.
They're built with. It was always fun to party there.
Yeah. I remember at the dining hall. Wasn't there a bar under the dining hall with like a deer head or a moose head on it?
There was a fraternity house like that. But there was the dining hall. You most likely went to. They actually rebuilt the dining hall. I think after you went there, but the original dining hall was in the English department. And they did have a lower downstairs with a deer head. I think it was a deer head or a moose head.
Yeah, I remember it had like women's underpants hanging from the antlers or something.
Yeah, that's Swanee for you.
Yeah, and I was like, I gotta go to school here. This is the best. It was like something out of
Animal House.
Yeah, totally. And the professors wore their graduation gowns to teach class. Yeah.
Still do.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a cool place. I want to go. Some days in the middle of the day, I kind of think it would be cool to go back there and go back to school.
Yeah. Up on the Cumberland Plateau.
Yeah.
All right, dude. That was fun.
It was.
Have you back
great
on,
talking
man.
to you.
Well, you know what? I got an idea for a future episode.
Sweet.
You and I should do triathlon news, and then you and I should both pick slow twitch threads of the week. Did I lose you? Hello?
Cut out there.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. You cut out there. What was that? Try news and what?
Slow twitch thread of the week.
Slow Twitch thread of the week. Oh Lord, the stuff we could dig up.
I know. I read through them and I'm just like, oh my. There's no podcast out there that just reviews the back and forth that goes on Slow Twitch about whatever crazy topic. Would be so funny.
I made it into Slow Twitch. That was my pride and joy. I made it into Slow Twitch without having to do something stupid.
Well, no, you were just in some photos, right?
I was there for the road show, so I got in the background of a photo, or background of a photo. I'm like, I've made it in life. I've made it on Slow Twitch without being bashed.
Oh yeah, I got bashed one time, and I called the people out, and told them to shut up. I was like, you people are horrible people.
Rolls on Slow Twitch.
Yeah.
Don't you all have jobs?
Like if we go to the forum, we're not going to do it right now, but if we go to the forum, you got to be careful, man. You don't want to make them too angry.
Don't stoke them.
I know. Don't anger the mob. But let's see. Best computer position, right?
Yeah. Or best computer position, and what are some of the other ones that I saw?
That one's got only 2 answers right now. And the thread about base salt, did you see that one?
No.
Oh my God. This guy got on there, first post ever on Slow Twitch. So this unknown person with an indistinguishable name account gets on there and writes like a 10-paragraph essay about how base salt is a complete ripoff. And he's exposing them. And people are like, who are you and what's your problem, you know? He's like, I just gotta tell everybody. And so then they start tearing into him, you know? Like, you're a jerk for doing that. Yeah, the whole SRAM ETAP fiasco going on. Ironman Texas swim. Basically.
Okay. Oh, and the Ironman Texas bike.
The bike course. Yeah.
Did you hear about the bike course getting canceled? Well, I should have brought this up in the news section.
Is it canceled or not?
Yeah, they canceled it.
No.
Yeah, I saw it. I got something that came across the wire before we hopped on, and I should have mentioned it when we were doing the news feed. They canceled the bike.
Let me see this. And there is a bailout time, but it's past it. A transition.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they canceled the bike.
No, wait. Well, on this thread, people are pissed that Iron Man's not telling them more. It's not being more transparent. But I don't think there's any news, you know. Let's see.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Scroll. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a whole lot of action on this thread all of a sudden. I wrote everything. I keep reporting. I don't mind being wrong. If you don't have concrete knowledge of status, then I'll be wrong. Ensure your source. Oh, wait. Golly, a whole bunch happened. I'm trying to scroll up. Don't worry, I'll edit out the silences.
I wish you could find it. I swear I saw it. Maybe even on Facebook.
There was a joke. Somebody posted a joke where it was a false headlines. They photoshopped a false headline together that said the bike had been canceled. Maybe you saw that one, but it was pretty obvious that it was fake.
Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. All right. Shared by Adam Zuko, and he's a pretty reliable source. Here we are. Let me see if I can tweet this to you. Yeah, it looks like it's just share on FB. Share on FB.com. So it might be, I don't know. Could be a scam, but looks pretty legit.
Is it after you start reading the article, after about 10 seconds, it goes, ha ha.
Doesn't look it.
Faked you. Okay.
Well, it was posted on the 21st of April, so today. So it wasn't an April Fool's joke. The annual 2016 Herman Ironman Texas scheduled for Saturday, May 14th is now an aquathon. Never mind. Prank.
It was a prank?
Yep.
I told you.
I fell for it.
You fell for it.
God damn.
And that is Slow Twitch for you.
Yeah.
Yep. You get freaking pranked. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, we could have fun with this. A Slow Twitch.
No, it sucked if it got canceled, though.
Oh, I know.
Alrighty. Alright, dude. Well, it was great talking to you, but I do like that idea. Yeah, try news and Slow Twitch forum of the week.
Yeah. You and I both pick one. And then
Deal.
why it's our favorite.
Love it.
All right, dude. All right, I'll talk to you really soon, man.
Sounds good. All right, later.
Later. Night.
Lyrics upon the format, filled with skill with technique, computer ADAT. My lyrical form is clouds on your brainstorm. I get hype, think, thought, flow, acrobat, sync the track, pump the track, dance missions, clubs like pose, react by slow visions. Inherited more reflects on the dance floor, blowing up and having mad people showing up, packing crowds, jam-packed venues. Needles collapse while atmospheres continue. Sprinkle that, winning like that, moving like that, hitting like that. The melody is fat. Yo, I'm on the energy source, the cosmic boss with prodigy, flipping astrology. My intellect's the power with diesel power. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. 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 Wind spin back, rewind, diesel power. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. It has to be automatically. Check it out, you better work it out. Change to another route. My technique, strategies, abilities, I leave chords and mic hanging like spring leaves. Do a try so fast beyond the human eye. Lyrical tactics, vocal gymnastics, ease and pepped up. You get swept up, smacked up, backed up. Your crew's all cracked up. Check it slow, pick, choose quick, you can't stick. My metaphor range is strangest angles. You get tangled, twisted side affections. Channels repeat, complete, can't compete. Check the hour texture, mind adventure, exploit the point. Enter tracks to devour. My intellects proceed with diesel power. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. 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 Back attack the whack, pack you back to me. You don't want none, high quality action be still standing, damaging your other manner. Quick reverse, potent as the first verse. My amplifier blows on your world's higher, world sire, cuts like a barbed wire. Record play, I pull up on you every day. Fast forward, I move and I swing toward. Exit load, put your brain in right mode. Select and mix, the man will perfect and fix heads lightly. Fight me, copy, Xerox, cock, hand blocks. You can't knock them out there. Upbeat, lifting, shifting, persistent, intelligent kingpin, flipping astrology. As I roll with prodigy, with diesel power. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chris Hague. Always awesome in interviews, and you can go find out more about Chris at chrishageracing.com. One of the best coaches out there. You can tell he's just a really nice guy that really knows his stuff. A lot of experience going on there. All right. Before we get into the emails from people, we should do a little bit of a news update. Some stuff has happened since we started the interview. First off, I've recorded another interview with Andrew Starkowitz, and that is super cool. And what I did is I took a different angle. The whole thing with Starkey, as people like to call him, being an interesting interview because he's really blunt and is not afraid to tell the truth about how he feels about stuff. Is kind of, in my mind, that's kind of old hat. Everybody's been around the block with that. And I actually wanted to interview him because he is factually one of the top triathletes out there, long distance, half and full Ironman. I mean, the guy is legendary for his bike skills, and he's actually the full package all the way around. And he's a real score in an interview because I like to find out what the pros are doing, so listeners and myself can contrast what we're doing wrong, and we can learn from him. And I did a really good job of that, of finding out how he gets everything all set up on his bike, how he trains, how he races, the different equipment he uses and why, training methods. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And every once in a while we kind of diverge into some other stuff, but in general, it's really good stuff that I'm really proud to have done this interview with him, and I can't wait to get it out there. So that'll be next episode, and he's doing Ironman Texas as his next race. He just won New Orleans, 70.3. He's doing Ironman Texas, 140.6, which, by the way, is not going to be 140.6. They've shortened the bike course on Ironman Texas from 112 miles down to, I think, 95 miles, and I think it has 80-something turns, which is well more than twice as many turns as usual in a race, and it's going through subdivision streets, so a lot of people are really upset. There's many different things. The bike course is too ridiculous. The bike course is not long enough. So are you actually an Ironman? Because the total distance you're going to do is not, you're 12 plus 5, so 17 miles short or so of a Ironman bike, and that's significant. The bike course is a little more challenging in a way with all the turns and stuff, but still not quite an Ironman. So then you get into that philosophical discussion is, are you really an Ironman for doing that course? For those people that are doing it, to say it's your first one or one of your first ones, and you want to say that you've done so many Ironmans, is it really an Ironman? And, or does it have an asterisk next to it saying it's not exactly real? And I don't know. I kind of fall on the side of it not really being an Ironman, but I also kind of fall on the side of, the only real Ironman is the one in Kona, and everything else is kind of trying to replicate it. It's not really the exact same thing. And then you could go all the way to say the only real Ironman was the very first one in Kona, and everything else has been an effort to replicate, and is not exactly the same. So I don't know. That's your own business inside. You'll know when you do it how you feel. And honestly, when I did I was signed up. I was about to register for my first Ironman. I was getting around to it because it wasn't a big Ironman brand. It was out here in Texas, and you could register with like a month left, no problem. And Kai, I was training for it. I was going to do it. And then Kai was born 2.5 months early. Well, then there was no Ironman for me. And I just went off and did one on my own when I found time. And that started all the self-supported Ironmans that I do and the Ultraman. And it changed my life ever since, to know that you can go do the distance on your own, and then you can do one any time that you want and plan it around your family and your life. And then you've done it. And actually, it's in a way, it's even more challenging, because if you're going off to do somebody, like a WTC or a challenge or a Rev 3 or something like that, Ironman brand race, you're paying somebody else to set up the race course and make sure that it's supported with food and water and somewhat safe. And if you do it yourself, then you're kind of doing that whole part yourself, and so it's a little bit more challenging. So if you're bummed about Ironman Texas, or you hear of people that are bummed about it not being quite a full Ironman, tell them, hey man, if it really bothers you, go and do one on your own. This other guy does it. I thought I was like the only person ever to do that, and then I find out tons of people do it. So there's that, and we get emails all the time from people doing it on their own. And then, especially half Ironmans, you can go do a half Ironman as a training day. Have a lot of fun doing that. But let me give you the perspective of people that have done a bunch of Ironmans and are in it, they're out there to kind of compete against other people. Well, still, how well you complete the Ironman Texas course is still relative to how well other people complete the course. So it's still a race, and you're still whatever percent, top 10% or top 10 or top 20% or, or whatever relative to other people. And they're going to be going as hard as they can, so you can too. And you can always treat it like that. That's how people that race a lot, like say Starkey in the next interview, he doesn't care what the distance is. He just cares that other people show up for him to beat, and then therefore he's better than them and gets more points and gets into Kona, because you have to get points as a pro to get into Kona. That's in the next interview. It's really cool. All right, along with that, something that sucks is longtime show friend Angela Nath is out of Ironman Texas. She had a foot problem and then had a little bit of surgery on her foot, and then it turns out it got infected and her foot blew up real big. She posted pictures on Facebook and is majorly on antibiotics trying to kill off the infection that's deep inside and trying to keep it from getting worse. Emily is a nurse, ZenTri Emily, and said that when she saw the picture, she goes, "Oh my gosh, this is really serious." So it's serious. So I hope Angela is healed. But also a new friend to ZenTri, Jocelyn McCauley, who's actually a College Station native like me. I was actually born in Ohio. Most people don't know that. Cincinnati, then Franklin, Tennessee, then Birmingham, Alabama, then Houston, Texas, then College Station, with a stop off in Harlingen, Texas, and Chicago and San Diego mixed in. Then that's why I seem like I know more about the United States than I probably should. It's because I've lived a whole bunch of different places. Anyway, Jocelyn McCauley is, she would say, the closest pro out there to maybe build and size and speed and potential is Angela Nath. And Jocelyn was on a show a while back, just a few episodes ago, and she's great and is really trying to break into being a top pro. And she's in the race now, and now with Angela out, Jocelyn might be your golden ticket winner. Whoever wins this top pro, it's the national championships or continental, whatever, North American championships, and you get an automatic ticket to Kona if you win. So I'm rooting for Jocelyn McCauley now that Angela is out. I would have rooted for them both and just been really excited to watch the competition. Now Angela's out, and rooting for Jocelyn to take it. She's my favorite. And the last piece of news is I need crew for Uberman. So this is the mega triathlon in California, Southern California. We're swimming across the Catalina Channel. I know Morgan has crewed for people doing that before, and he's going to be my crew chief for the first part, but you still need a couple other people. And it starts in maybe October 20th, I think. And the Catalina Channel will be all day, and then about 3 days of biking 400 miles. And we'll need a car, a van or two, like a minivan or two. So if you live in Southern California and you want to bike across Santa Barbara, Malibu, north of LA, over to Death Valley over a few days with me, well, you can't bike with me. I mean, maybe you could, but we just need crew. People get tired, and the crew needs to exchange members out every once in a while. And then, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and it'll be a party. I mean, you can't kill yourself doing these things. You can't go too fast or else you'll blow up. So we need to just relax and have fun and laugh and have a really good time. And then, we're going to need more crew, probably a whole new crew if people want to swap out. And, the last part of it is running the Badwater 135, which will be starting in the bottom of Death Valley and ends up at the trailhead to the peak of Mount Whitney. And that's going to be a couple days at least of more crew. So send me an email, Texafornia, T-E-X-A, Fornia, like Texas and California, not T-E-X-I. That chick gets tired of getting my emails. Texafornia at gmail.com, and tell me you're interested in being the crew, and we can start putting together a crew, and it'll be a blast. All right, I got to take Kai to his next soccer game. We've had 3. This will be our 3rd soccer game today. It's a tournament. So we go to the game and then come back, go to the game and then come back, and go to the game and come back, and we got to go to his very last one. He won the first one, lost the second one, and now it's time for the finale. All right, and after that, we'll do some emails. All right, hold on. All right. we needed to take a break there and drive to Kai's soccer game, and we are now mobile. It's halftime. They're taking a break, and boy, you can tell that this is a podcast put on a real age grouper. Because I really do have to go places and do all kinds of different things and balance it all. Balance the real life, being a dad, and a job and everything with trying to do triathlon. And the whole thing is never give up, man. There's always opportunity to fit in a little bit more training or to train smarter. And so that's how it goes. All right, let me switch back over to our emails. Okay, Jason E. sent in a donation, or also got Hornet Juice, which is a supplement, amino acid supplement you can get on the side of ZenTri, ZenTriathlon.com, and maybe y'all can hear that bait and hit, or it's pretty cool. We're at a multi-complex field. Ooh, let's go over to where the tree frog. Look, squirrels. Anyway, let's see if it's rained so much. Part of the Ironman Texas course issues has been flooding, wrecking, and all kind of flooding destroys roads. Let's see. Jason E sent in an email and he said, "Hey Brett, I got Hornet Juice. I had to use my wife's PayPal account," and smiley face. "But I've really been enjoying the podcast. I love the free-flowing style, especially during the training log." Hey, that's kind of where we're going next. "And really love all the little tips and suggestions." Cool. You know, my job, I end up training interns a lot. I've probably sent 10 to 15 interns out into the real world over all these years, maybe more. And they always say, "Thanks for all the advice." Always. And they come back and visit with me. And they always say, "Your advice, it turned out to be so true." So it's a good thing I do this podcast. I got a place to put all this advice. I wish I would take my own advice sometimes. Okay, Ramon says, come on, expand. "Hi, Brett. It still feels weird that one celebrity like you wrote me an email." Oh, wait. I just got eaten up by a mosquito. We're moving. That's too many mosquitoes. I don't want, what's the new Zika virus? So Ramon ordered Hornet Juice, and he lives in Franklin, Tennessee. I saw that when I sent it to him, and I used to live in Franklin, like I said. So I sent him a note, say, how's the tri life in Franklin? And one thing I've learned through all the Zen training is to not put your judgment into somebody else's mind, that leading the witness kind of stuff. I didn't say, "Is it tough there?" Right? I didn't say, "Is it great there?" I just asked, "How is it?" You can tell when I interview pros, I try to ask without telling, without leading to my own opinion. Because you don't want to influence people to go somewhere different than they're already going. They're already really good, or, who knows. So anyway, he said, "I'm a big fan of your podcast, and I recommend it to my friends that are into triathlon or running." Hey, dude, do it for the swimmers too, man. "Thanks for sharing your passion!" ! Franklin is a great place to live. Cool. Glad to hear it. "And there's no lack of endurance events around. I'm very happy here. Thanks again, Ramon." And what's funny is when I was a senior in high school and took a Spanish class, everybody had to pick out a Spanish name for the semester or the year, whatever we did. And mine was Ramon. Ramon from Franklin. Share a connection there. All right, we got some more donations from Justice Phillips, Jonathan Woodman, Hun Chu. Hey, Hun, how you doing, man? And Katie Jo Favia. Bradley Hammond. He wrote back. Oh, crap, I lost it. Where'd it go? He ordered some Hornet Juice, and he said, "I just received it. That stuff is so good that I kind of panic when I run out." By the way, I'm loving the back catalog that's up on the Patreon site. I've been listening since around 2005 or so. Thanks for putting out such good content all these years. You're awesome, period. So the Patreon site, if you go to patreon.com and look for Zen Triathlon, I've got 2 years of back catalog. 2011, which is the most epic year of ZenTri ever. That's the year that I swam across Lake Tahoe, did Alcatraz, and ran a 100-miler, I think, all in 1 year. So that was a big year, and that's all up there. Anyway, all that stuff's in podcast. So go check it out. I'm thinking about putting the Starkey interview that I've recorded up there as a pre-release behind the paywall, and it'll be free, a few days later. But if you want to hear it as early as possible, then I'll announce it, though. Just watch my Twitter and see if it goes up there. I tweet at Zen Triathlon on Twitter. James Godek sent in a donation, which you can do on the left-hand side of ZenTri. Matthew Heinz, Jessica Woodruff, Allison Frutos, Matthew Frois, and M. Webb all sent in donations. All right, Kai soccer game is about to kick into gear again. I need to get over there. Halftime is over, but you're not done yet. You've got this training log you need to get into. You ready? Let's go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name's Brett. I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, welcome to a new training log. Start date, April 19th. Drive into W to the ERK. Went for a 1.5 hour, so that's an hour and a half. Trying to negotiate a intersection here. Hour and a half run this morning. Hey, by the way, you know, the whole training log thing is to give you ideas on what to do. It's not to do exactly what I do, but as I do things, I give thoughts on things, on what works and what doesn't work. And then you can be like, oh, I never thought of that. Or to yourself, be entertained and be like, oh, what an idiot. As you drive to work. But anyway, the cool thing is, well, first off, Jocko podcast, the guy's an ex-Navy SEAL commander. So not just he's like a super Navy SEAL. He's like an action figure. And he posts a picture of his watch every morning, what time he gets up. And I don't want to copy him and do that every day, but it is definitely inspirational. So I do it sometimes when I think about it. And posted a picture this morning at 4:30 a.m. getting up and getting moving and having a little bit of let's see, what did I have? I had some coffee with just not a tablespoon, half a tablespoon, maybe a teaspoon of maple syrup in it, and I'll tell you where that led in a little bit. And then out of the Keurig, and I'm trying to remember what else. Oh, I had a serving of Hornet juice, which I just ordered a 20 pack, and that was really, really smart in the end. And kind of got going, and then I was kind of sitting around, and usually I sit around for a while and catch up on things, and I thought, nah, man, I'm going to get going. I felt great. And I had some matcha powder. Oh, I had some matcha powder with my Hornet juice. Hold on, I need to take a break from the recorder for a second. So matcha powder, MATCHA, is ground green tea. So you get the green tea plus a little bit of fiber and some other vitamins and nutrients, actually, that was in the green tea leaf. If you're just drinking green tea, you're drinking the water that green tea leaves was soaked in. So you're not getting anywhere near as much of you're just getting the rinse. You want the real stuff. It's like rinsing a salad and then eating the rinse water, or actually eating the salad, right? So matcha powder, you just spoon it in. You don't spoon up next to the bag. You just spoon out of the bag. And so I had that with my Hornet juice, which was pretty cool. And I started running, and lo and behold, I started having the problem that I get every once in a while, where I had a blood sugar crash about 10-15 minutes in. And I've learned what that is. First off, you have to look at how you ate the day before. And the day before, I had meetings and stuff like that all day at work. So I didn't eat as much as I usually do. So I underate. And I also, I woke up first thing in the morning, so I haven't eaten much. Oh, and I had the tiniest bowl. I mean, like, just a few spoonfuls of Ezekiel cereal with coconut milk. That was the other thing. And that's some hard to digest stuff. And even though it's carbs, it's like gravel, and it's like grape nuts. And I'm running along, and I start getting lightheaded. Lights. It's dark, so if like a street light and everything starts getting blurry and stuff, and I'm like, God dang it, what's going on? I got a blood sugar crash. What have I done wrong? Oh, whoa, it's me. I'm a horrible person. And what I've learned is this is some hard stuff to find. I finally, half a year ago when I was trying to figure this thing out, I finally came across this research article that said, oh, by the way, there is this one little thing that some well-trained athletes get. Their muscles are so adept at pulling blood sugar out of the bloodstream. The muscles are just straight out of the bloodstream, that if they begin exercise and their blood sugar isn't high enough, it will bottom out their blood sugar super fast. And it's just, you've trained your muscles to sponge up blood sugar. And you just don't have enough blood sugar to go on. And you're like, oh yeah. And it said, especially if they've had caffeine. Because caffeine ups your metabolism like all of a sudden. So it shocks the system, and the system starts burning through blood sugar, so that lowers your blood sugar. And then you start exercising, and your muscles pull the rest of your blood sugar out. And then, on top of that, you've got something in your stomach that's a little hard to digest. And then, wham, you've got lightheadedness. And then, so what I've learned to do when that happens is you wait just a few minutes. You just stand still. It's in my run from today, April 19th, this morning. I just stood there for a little bit, and all of a sudden, after about 2 minutes, I talked to some horses. There were some horses at a fence line. I was like, hey, what's up? And at the, well, first, they're kind of scary. Horses in the dark, one, that could be a band name, and two, they're huge. You think about, what's an animal that can run like 35, 40 miles an hour while carrying you on its back, and maybe somebody else? And how powerful and huge are these things? So they're standing in the dark. I'm talking to them. Then they stampeded off. It was kind of wild. It scared the crap out of me, especially with low blood sugar. But then after like a couple of minutes, I felt great. And so my blood sugar came back up from the shock. Hold on, I need to merge with some traffic here. Let's see what's going on. People get greedy with their turning, man. Nobody wants to be patient. So I waited just a minute, and then started running again when I felt better, and felt great, and had a wonderful run from that point. That was about 25 minutes in where I felt like that, and then I had a wonderful run for another hour, and that's when Hornet Juice takes a little bit to kick in, and then the Hornet Juice kicked in, and I was very lightly sipping on maple syrup, just cruising along out of a gel flask. You just pour maple syrup right into a gel flask. It's really cool. And just cruise along, having a wonderful run. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, well, there's two things. If you can, you want to do the longest workout possible to train you for endurance, because the first part of your workout is a warm-up. So you work out an hour in the morning or an hour in the evening. Really, it's kind of like, that's like 2 half-hour workouts, because it takes half an hour to kind of get all the systems fired up and running right. But if you work out, let's say an hour and a half to 2 hours, you got that 30-minute warm-up, and then the rest of the workout is gold. You know, you're training now that you've warmed up. So if you can, go as long as you can. Add 15 minutes there, 20 minutes there, 30 minutes there, you know, when you can, because that warm-up is kind of throwaway time. And the other thing is that barefoot run I did the other day, it really fixed a whole lot of stuff. I have not run barefoot since, but it made me realize my form was all messed up. And I went back. I've got 2 old pair of Nike Frees that I used to run in all the time. And I've gone back to running in those. And it's revolutionary. It's how much different it is. In a Nike Free shoe, I'm able to feel when I'm landing midfoot for real and forefoot, and roll off the forefoot gently. And I ran, since that barefoot run, I ran again on like a Friday. And then on Saturday I ran 9 miles, and on Sunday I ran 9 miles on really flat terrain. And my foot gets better every day. Like it's healing. Now, the weird thing is there's so many variables going on. You got to try so many different things, and you got to be patient. I've got plantar fasciitis in my left foot pretty bad, and in my right foot, and it was from training for my Ultra Baby, the self-supported Ultraman, in the fall. And I'm sleeping with a boot on my left foot. I woke up this morning, and it's a boot they make to keep your foot flat. And my left foot felt better than my right foot, and my left foot's the injured one. But I was sleeping in a boot with it, and doing stretches. The other thing, another variable that you have to think of is your work shoes. I also recently, like about half a month ago, replaced my work shoes, and I think that helped. I've been wearing the same shoes to work for so long. I think they kind of bottomed out and were kind of a mess. And getting new shoes helped things a lot. So just all kinds of interesting, different things that seem to have worked. And that's it. All right, I'm at W to the ERK, and I'll talk to y'all later. Out, bang. All right, hippity dippity folks. I'm out running. Maybe a day after the last recording. Woke up this morning with my foot in the boot. Something was good. I said, I put my foot on the ground, took off the boot, put my foot on the ground, started walking, no pain. And then I had to actually search for pain. I had to really kind of roll my heel around. And then I felt a little bit of pain, like with pressure, found the spot. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. So I can't swim because of the tattoo. I've still got another, 5 days. I posted on a tattoo forum on Reddit. I said, hey man, my tattoo's totally healed up, feels fine. It's been about 8 days. Can I go swim? And 2 people said, nah, you really shouldn't. And then one dickhead goes, sure, if you want to ruin your tattoo for the rest of your life, go enjoy a quick swim. And I was like, all right, let's leave that guy alone. He's obviously got issues. So, as my mom said, there's nothing I can do to that guy that will make him feel any more miserable than he does already. That's a really good Zen statement. It doesn't take a Zen master on top of a hill to say something profound. Just anything profound works. This guy cut off my mom when I was a teenager, and I was 14, 15, kind of learning how to drive a little bit, paying attention. Guy cuts her off and flipped her off. I said, Mom, aren't you going to do something? Are you going to honk at him or whatever? Because she was just so calm. And she just said, oh, there's nothing I can do to that guy to make him feel worse than he already does about himself. And I was like, oh, wow. Wow! Mind blown. But anyway, so 3 things are helping me heal this foot. 1, not running with the big dog that starts off running, dragging me everywhere. So I have to dig my heels in and slam my feet into the ground. 2, the plantar fasciitis boot. It's $20-$30. Bought it off Amazon. Super simple, super dorky. We always talk about habits and simplicity. I wasn't wearing it all the time because Emily kept putting it away like she does. She puts everything away. And I said, the place for you to put this away is on my pillow. You make the bed. I don't want to make a bed. I made enough beds in military school. This sucks. Anyway, Emily likes making the bed. And you make the bed, and then you're walking around going, hey, where do I put this stupid thing? Don't put it in a drawer. Don't put it under the bed. Don't put it in the closet. If I don't see it, I'm not going to put it on. Because by the time I go into bed, I'm tired, right? You are too. I need to brush my teeth more often at night. Maybe I should put my toothbrush and my toothpaste on my bed, on my pillow too. I said, put that thing on the pillow. She's like, that looks terrible. I go, you know what's worse than that? It's my freaking foot killing me and me walking around bitching about it all the time. And she's like, oh yeah, you're right. So I lay down to go to bed. I can't lay down unless I move that stupid boot thing. I'm holding it in my hand. It's just as easy to put it on my foot as it is to put it on the ground. Boom, done. And then the other thing was switching shoes at both work and running. I've gone back to wearing Nike Frees, and they you have so much more perception of what you're doing with your foot than the thicker pad. I was wearing Adidas, which I love. These what's the ones with the super duper material? I'll remember in a minute. But Boost, those things are awesome. But I can totally tell after that barefoot run that my run form was off. So I went back to Nike Frees, which is kind of like running in moccasins. Boom, run form fixed. All of a sudden, everything's great. Busy intersection, there's 2 cars. I was running. I'm gonna stop. Running in the rain a while ago. So the funny thing was, trying to preserve my left foot, I was running on the other side of the road that I normally do, and then strained my right calf. Pretty good. So it hurts a little bit now, but it's getting better too. And then a nice fix this morning. I changed up my fueling routine. I did 1 cup of coffee instead of 2 over like 45 minutes. Just 1. Now I don't get that huge caffeine spike and then crash where it blows out all my blood sugar, sucks it all up, burns it off. 1 cup of coffee, a scoop of maltodextrin, drinking it slowly. Maltodextrin's kind of medium acting speed. It's kind of fast, kind of medium. 1 scoop, 100 calories, over like half an hour. It's not a big spike. How much time do I got? Let me see. I should get back to that. Okay. And I was deciding which way to go. I'm almost done. And then, so I'm sipping that while I'm waking up, surfing the internet some. And then after that was gone, I made a serving of UCAN and matcha powder. Is that green tea? It's got slow acting caffeine in it. Got a little bit of fiber with it. And UCAN is the super slow starch. Crazy slow. Down that, put on my running shoes, my Nike Frees, and go. Feel freaking great. Way better. No blood sugar crash, all that stuff. If you do the same thing back to back, like back to back days, maybe 2 days apart, and you pay attention, you can keep track of time and all the stuff. You can see what works and what doesn't. It's called A/B testing. So, does A work or does B work? These red Nike, no, I'm wearing my blue ones. Anyway, I've done the Rocky Raccoon 50, maybe, well, I don't know what I wore for the 100, but the 50 trail run race, 50 mile, wearing Nike Frees and set my PR in them. The ground control is amazing. And it was pouring rain. It was really wild. So slippery, but it still worked better than heavy, hard shoes. Just running in moccasins. I wonder if Nike Free makes a trail running. I might need to get some of those. Anyway, I ordered the custom Nikes years ago. We can pick out the color, and then you could even get a name stitched on the side. So I got ZenTri on the side. It's so cool. People are always like, whoa, dude, where do you get those? Like, I made them. You can make your own. You can get your own little mantra. And then lastly, got a good training tip for the bike. You want to get strong on the bike? Get on there, warm up 10, 15, 20 minutes. You can tell how blown out or recovered you are, how long it takes you to get your heart rate and your power up. If it takes like 20 minutes, you got problems. But anyway, it takes like 10 minutes, then you're pretty fresh. It's time to do intervals. So I started doing like 1 to 2 minute intervals at above FTP. So mine's like 305, 310, maybe. Yeah, that's probably about it. Watts. So I was doing like 330, 340, 350 at a nice and high cadence. So it'd start to burn, and right before my legs would pop, you know, or if you keep going, you're gonna get the shakes and you're just gonna collapse. Your legs are gonna give out right before that. So not to that point. I'd stop, sit up and pedal for like 4 or 5 minutes, then do it again. I did that for the rest of the hour. It's just like lifting weights. So if you do work just above your FTP for short bursts, guess what it does? Your body gets familiar with what's above your FTP, and it lifts it. It's nice. It's a big different style of training than like 2 by 20 minutes, where it's way below your FTP. It's close, but it's below, and you're lifting it kind of through the back door. This is right through the front door. Anyway, that's nice. I'm done. Oh, hello. Let's see what she says. 8.84 miles. Let's see. I was just kind of jogging pretty easy. Still trying not to hurt myself. Oh, at a 9:54 average. 9:54 minute mile. Hour and 27 minutes. All right. Running back-to-back days. Don't want to be pushing it. Still healing. There's a train that College Station is named for. Over here, the train station. All right, out, bing.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap up this show. Woo, it's Monday morning, first swim in 2 weeks because of the tattoo. Can't swim for 2 weeks, that one. And it felt so good to get back in the water. Yesterday, this whole weekend's been just wild. We got a new puppy. She seems to be a Mountain View cur, if you look that up. She was tied to a tree out in the field, not mistreated per se horribly, but just neglected. The guy just didn't have time for her, and was asking people, who can take this dog. And so she's 6 months old. She's a total spaz. She's all over the place. Loves people. Kona doesn't know what to make of her. He both likes her and, growls at her when she gets all in his face and stuff. But she's a puppy, so she just does that. Anyway, it's a ton of fun. We surprised Kai with it. Emily posted on Facebook a video of surprising Kai with a puppy. And she's about 30 pounds. She's yellow with a little bit kind of like the markings of a white tip tail and a little white stripe down the middle of her forehead, just the tiniest bit. And goofy, and just a ton of fun. And we got a smaller dog. Oh, we named her Zoe. We got a smaller dog. She'll probably max out around 45 pounds, I bet. It's hard to tell. So that Kai and Emily can run a dog themselves. Because if we got another big dog, it'd be up to me to run it. And I can't do that all the time. It kills me. Emily ran with Kona some over the weekend, and it was hilarious, her getting dragged around. And I was like, see? Anyway, let me make sure this is recording. Hold on. Yeah, we're doing good. And then on Sunday, we did the local BCS, that means Bryan College Station, Grand Fondo, which is 100. They had the longest was 100, big loop. And then they had like a 20 and a 40. And Kai did the 40 miler. My 11-year-old did a 40 miler with another kid that's 11. And they're both on the triathlon team. So it just goes to show what just kids can do if you you give them the right environment. Don't never push Kai. He just loves doing it anyway. And it wasn't just Kai. It was another kid, and they just went out and had fun and did 40 miles, no problem. Asked him when he was done, how was it? Are you tired? And he's like, meh. So before he took off, I gave him 2 bottles of 50-50 Gatorade, and kind of like 3/4 Gatorade. That way it wasn't too strong. And then if he drank that, then he'd have plenty of energy, because they're just. He averaged 16.5 miles per hour, by the way, and it was hilly and windy. So, wow. Anyway, then I did the 100 miler, and I won the entire 100 miler. And on the next episode, I'm going to describe how, because it was 101.5 miles, because I used all my experience from Ironman racing to do this thing as fast as possible as like a training day for Ironman, and it worked. It was flawless. And I'm going to describe on the next show what I did to go as fast as possible and win the whole thing. It was definitely competitive with some guys. And then the other thing was, throughout the week, the 5 days leading up to the bike ride, the 100 miler that I did, I ran every day 9 miles, almost on the dot every day. So I totaled 45 miles of running up till the day of that 100-mile bike ride, and I could feel it in my legs. So it was just really good training to just build up stamina and durability, and not give up when things start hurting. And boy, I had some challenges during that ride. Some stuff went wrong, and like I said, I'll describe that in the next show. And yeah, Emily did I think she did the 40 miler as well, and it was just a whirlwind of a weekend and lots of fun. And the real trick after all of it was to hit the pool the very next morning and get in that swim. And swim relatively easy, not kicking too much, to help the legs recover. It feels good on the legs. And I'm going to change lanes here. And you can use swimming to recover from, brutal stuff on your legs. And the reason my legs were brutalized was I couldn't swim because of the tattoo. So I got bored, man. So I was just like, well, I guess I'll run again. Once you get in the habit of exercising twice a day, it's hard to, and I didn't exercise every day, twice a day. You know, some days I took one day off or no days. And, but anyway, once you get in the habit, it's really easy to keep going. You just got to not go too hard. And that's the thing is just stay consistent, and then you'll keep getting better and better and better. All right, I think that's it for this episode. I want to give a shout out to all the sponsors that helped me out, Salt Stick and Amrita Bars and livingfuel.com, and use all that stuff a lot. And Chris Hague, and I can't wait to bring you all my details of the next episode, tell you how we did it. Man, and the longest portion of the weekend was not the 101.5 miler, it was the 500 mile gravel ride race. It was both on-road and off-road. Off-road was just gravel, not like mountain bike trails. And I'll tell you what, you finished the 100 miler in first place, and you got a small crowd around you going, wow, congratulations, you're so awesome, wow, cool. And you're being like, wow, this is great, man, I can't believe I did this is so cool. And then they go, oh wait, one of the 500 milers is coming in, let's go see him. And then they all leave you standing there by yourself. And you're like, dude, 500 miles. Wow. The guy that won never slept. He never slept. Oh my gosh. That's who you're up against in these things. You just need to get as good as you can get and just enjoy it, because there are people out there that are operating completely on a different level, and that's okay. You just do the best you can. All right. That's it. I'll see everybody next time around. Everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.